You probably think you know the Corvette story, but hidden in its history are Corvettes so rare and secret that even some Chevy dealers didn't know they existed. Some were never officially sold, while others were so extreme that Chevrolet tried to keep them out of the spotlight. Today, we're looking at 10 of the rarest Corvettes ever built. Number 9. 1962 Corvette Z06. The Z06 is a name every modern Corvette enthusiast knows, but the original, the first one from 1962, is something most of those same enthusiasts would struggle to describe. In late 1962, Chevrolet quietly made the Z06 Special Performance Equipment Package available. The 327 V8 made 360 horsepower through fuel injection, paired with a 36-gallon racing fuel tank, heavy-duty metallic brake, upgraded suspension, and positraction. It was offered for just a few months before being discontinued and appeared in no advertising, no general sales literature, nothing. The 199 buyers who found one did so through dealer word of mouth and racing community connections. The Z06 name went dormant after 1963 and didn't return until 1990. When it came back, nobody needed to explain what it meant. But the original, the quiet 1962 package that started everything, remains one of the least known important Corvettes in the car's entire history. Number 8. 1969 Corvette L88. By 1969, the L88 had been running its quiet existence for 3 years. The racing community knew. The press had figured it out. Chevrolet still wasn't advertising it. Production grew to 116 units, still tiny by any standard, reflecting growing demand from the racing world. The 427 V8 continued its fiction of 430 official horsepower while delivering considerably more in practice. The aluminum head technology remained. The secrecy remained. This was the final year. After 1969, the L88 wouldn't return. The emissions era was arriving, and the kind of racing spec engine the L88 represented was becoming incompatible with the regulatory environment Chevrolet had to navigate. The final chapter of a 3-year secret that had built 216 total cars while never once telling the general public they existed. Number 7. 1968 Corvette L88. The 1967 L88 had been so successful on the track that Chevrolet kept the policy exactly as it was. Same formula, 427 V8, claiming 430 horsepower, actual output considerably higher, deleted features specifically designed to steer ordinary buyers elsewhere. The aluminum cylinder heads gave the engine a weight advantage that the horsepower number alone couldn't capture. 80 were built, still without a single piece of public advertising. The buyers who found their way to an L88 in 1968 were race team managers and serious competitors who had read the right trade publication at the right moment. This car competed at Le Mans, Daytona, and Sebring. It won races against purpose-built European machinery costing 3 and 4 times as much, while Chevrolet publicly pretended it didn't exist. Number 6. 1970 Corvette ZR1. Here's a trivia question that stumps almost everyone. What was the first Corvette ever called the ZR1? Most people guess 1990. The answer is 1970, and the reason almost nobody knows about it is exactly the point of this video. Chevrolet went out of their way to make sure it didn't draw attention. The only external identifier, a small LT1 badge on the hood. No special badging, no dealer promotion, no advertisement. The 350 cubic inch LT1 made 370 horsepower with a solid lifter cam, and breathing the standard engine couldn't approach, bundled with the M22 Rock Crusher 4-speed and upgraded suspension. 25 were built. The badge that would eventually define the most powerful Corvette ever produced started its life almost invisible, known only to the people who knew which questions happens to us. Number 5. 1967 Corvette L88. Chevrolet didn't want you to buy this car, and in 1967 they found a very specific way to discourage you. The L88 appeared in the order book with an official rating of 430 horsepower, identical to the standard 427 tri-power. Deliberate. Chevrolet understated the output to filter out anyone who wasn't a serious racing competitor. The real number, measured by anyone who put one on a dynamometer, was somewhere between 540 and 560. Required 103 octane racing fuel. No choke, no heater, no radio. Compression ratio of 12.5 to 1 made pump gasoline mechanically dangerous. 20 were built. No promotional material. No advertisements. No announcement. The L88 existed as an open secret within the racing world, visible to those who needed to find it, invisible to everyone else. Today, it's worth several $1 million. In 1967, Chevrolet sold it for a small premium and hoped most buyers wouldn't notice it was there. Number 4. 1971 Corvette ZR2. If the 1970 ZR1 was a secret, the 1971 ZR2 was something that barely existed at all. While the ZR1 continued with its small block LT1, Chevrolet offered something alongside it that almost nobody knew about. The ZR2 came with the LES7, a 454 cubic inch big block, making well over 460 horsepower, available only to buyers who already knew it existed and could assemble the correct combination of required options to order one. Fewer than 12 were ever documented. No two are alike in specification. No Chevrolet advertisement from 1971 mentions the ZR2 package. For a car producing over 460 horsepower, it disappeared into history with remarkable completeness and remains one of the most debated, least documented Corvettes ever produced. Number 3. 1969 Corvette COPO Z01. 2. The entire world production of this car is 2 unit. Everything about the ZL1's existence was engineered to avoid attention. The ordering process ran through Chevrolet's central office production order system, a fleet channel designed for police cars, not race engines, listed in no consumer catalog. Horsepower understated so significantly that even buyers couldn't be certain what they were getting. The all-aluminum 427, block, heads, everything, produced north of 500 horsepower in a car that looked identical to any other 1969 Corvette, an engine developed for Can-Am racing, somehow in 2 street-legal cars, ordered through a system designed for taxi fleet. The engine option alone cost more than the base car. One sold at R.M. Sotheby's for $3.14 million. The other is equally priceless. Both accounted for. Both prove that Chevrolet's most extraordinary moments happened when they were trying hardest not to be noticed. Number 2. 1969 Corvette ZL1. The ZL1 engine was developed for Can-Am racing, where McLaren and Chaparral were running wild, and Chevrolet needed something that could compete. A 427 with everything aluminum, block, heads, intake manifold, 100 pounds lighter than the iron version with every performance advantage of the larger displacement. To meet homologation rules, it had to exist in a production car. Chevrolet made it a regular production option at a price that exceeded the entire base Corvette. Total cost with required options over $10,000 in 1969, when a house in most of America cost less. 2 were built. These aren't rare in the way a limited edition is rare. They are rare in the way that 2 surviving examples of something are rare, essentially singular. The most extreme Corvettes ever built. Made because the rule book said they had to exist, then handled so quietly that almost nobody knew they did. Number 1. 1983 Corvette. This is the Corvette that doesn't officially exist, and yet here it is. In 1982, C3 production ended. The C4 was scheduled to begin as a 1983 model. The Bowling Green plant was retooled. The car was ready. Then quality control testing started, and the problems were significant enough that GM made a decision no manufacturer makes lightly. Cancel the entire model year. Every 1983 Corvette built was destroyed. Every one except one. One survived. Whether deliberately set aside or simply overlooked is a detail different accounts render differently. Sadly, the plant manager eventually discovered it, had it restored, and donated it to the National Corvette Museum, where it has lived ever since, behind glass, inaccessible because it was never available. There is no 1983 Corvette you can purchase. There is one that exists. It sits in a museum. The year that should have begun, the C4 generation became automotive history's most conspicuous gap, and the single car that survived it is one of the most extraordinary objects in American automotive history.